C.A.R. has established checkpoints throughout the year to ensure that all local associations are complying with the NAR variable dues policies and procedures. Failure to meet the 97% NMSP compliance objective by March 31st, August 31st, and December 1st will trigger a mandatory hearing. These hearings could result in sanctions that could impact your board president and various leadership positions at the state level. So to ensure that local associations can meet the 97% compliance objective at each checkpoint, C.A.R. created the broker compliance tool to assist the local associations with managing compliance. So in this video, we're going to show you the following: how to access the broker compliance tool, how to identify your current NMSP score, how to identify records that are having a negative impact on your score, and how to achieve the 97% NMSP compliance objective. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first things first, in order to access the broker compliance tool, you want to go to www.car.org. And then right here at the top right, we're going to select sign in. And then you would enter your login credentials. And once you're logged in, you want to come right back up here to the top right and click on your name. And then right here under where it says local associations, this header, you're going to scroll down to where it says broker compliance tool 3. Okay, and so this is the BCT dashboard. And so here you'll see the total count of active realtor members. You'll see the total count for NMSPs, LFROs, and MLOs. And then you'll see your realtor score right here. And then the score that we're going to be focusing on for this video is the NMSP score. Okay, and this is the score that we mentioned that has to be at least 97% or higher at each checkpoint date. Okay, and just for a friendly reminder, those dates are March 31st, August 31st, and December 1st, where this number has to be at least 97% or higher. Okay, and so the first thing we want to give our attention and focus to is this box right here that says delinquent. These are the records that directly impact our NMSP score, okay? And you also want to give some attention to this section here. These are the records that are in the 1 to 15 day grace period. And if they are not tended to within this time frame, they will also be moved to this section, okay? And so somewhere here in the grace period, a letter or an email should have been sent out to the designated realtor regarding these specific licensees that are in question. And so in that letter, it should indicate his or her membership will be inactivated before the licensees transition to delinquent section on day 61. And so anytime you have delinquent records, that means that the local association did not follow through by inactivating the broker and his or her agent for not meeting their dues obligation. And so please keep in mind that non-member fees are part of the designated realtor dues, which means any outstanding dues or fees will result in their membership being inactivated. And so in order to display the agents that are in the delinquent section, all we have to do is actually click this red box right here. And our goal is to make sure that all of these records are removed from this delinquent section so that your score can be at 100%. And so now we're going to talk about some options that the brokers can use in order for you to meet the compliance objective of at least 97% on your NMSP score. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do is reach out to the designated realtor to determine if the DR will be paying the non-member fee for his agents. Okay, and the second thing is, if the non-member fee has already been paid and the NMSP still shows unpaid on the BCT, then we want to double check and make sure that the financial record was actually correctly uploaded on M1. And to do that, we're going to hop over here to M1. And the link to this website is nar.m1.realtor. And once you're here, we're going to just type in the license number or the NERDS ID number. And then we're going to just click right here where the member ID is. And then we want to scroll down, keep scrolling until you get right here where it says member dues payment. And this is where you can confirm if the financial record was uploaded correctly or not. If the financial record was uploaded correctly in M1, but it is still showing unpaid in the BCT, then please send an email to our finance department for further research. And that email address is accounting@car.org. And please be sure to include the NERDS ID number in that email. However, if what you see is incorrect, please create a negative payment record to offset the incorrect one that you see. Then at that point, you can add the correct financial record. Okay, and so the third thing we want to check is we want to determine if the NMSP is going to operate as a referral agent, also known as a LFRO agent. And so we want to make sure that M1 actually shows under the type that it actually highlights that they're a LFRO agent. And we also want to make sure that there's a LFRO certification form on file. Please keep in mind, the LFRO certification form is for the local association's record keeping only. C.A.R. will only require the certification form when conducting an audit. Okay, the fourth thing we'd want to look at is we want to determine if the DR is going to remove the agent's license. So if the DR removes the agent's license, then you want to confirm by going here to this website, which is dre.ca.gov. Okay, and you're going to come right here where it says verify a real estate license. Click there. Okay, and so once we get to this screen, we're going to type in the real estate license number right here and then click find. And so if the broker does decide to remove the agent's license, then we want to come down here where it says license status and make sure that the status is showing licensed NBA. Okay, if this is still showing license right here, then this agent will still appear on the BCT as a delinquent. So it's still going to hinder your NMSP score. So keep that in mind. Okay, and so the fifth thing that we want to look out for is the member status right here. Realtors that are inactivated or terminated, they automatically become NMSPs. And so if you have members who have paid their dues, as we see here, if you have members who have paid their dues, but have been inactivated or terminated for not meeting the COE requirements, please send an email to Kiesman or myself so that we can remove them by adding them to the TRM exemption code. And please keep in mind, in order for the member to qualify for the TRM exemption code, the financial record must appear in M1. Okay, and so the sixth thing that we can do, if you have a realtor member, LFRO agent, or an MLO agent that is still appearing on your BCT as a non-member, you want to check M1 to make sure that the member type is listed correctly, okay? And then you also want to check and make sure that the member subclass field is blank. And so to do that, you're gonna go down to additional member information. And then right here under member subclass, you wanna make sure that this is blank, which it is. Okay, so let's take a look at an example of what I'm talking about here. So right here in the BCT, you see that this member is listed as a realtor, right? But let's hop over and look at the record in M1. See right here in M1, that same record, they are listed as a LFRO agent. Okay, and so that's why they keep popping up in the BCT. And so what we're gonna do is gonna go down again to additional member information. And the reason why they're popping up in the BCT is because right here, there's an R here for member subclass. And so this will automatically come up as a realtor in the BCT. And so you would actually need to remove the R from the member subclass. So in order to move the R from the member subclass, I have to show you by using a dummy record here, but this is what you would do. You'd come right here where it says edit member. And then you would come down to where it says additional information. And right here, you would delete. And then once you remove the R from here, you would click update member. Okay, and once the record has been successfully updated, you would send an email to Kiesman or myself so that we can update our records so that the changes and updates can be reflected in the BCT. Okay, now let's talk about exemptions. There are specific exemptions that non-members qualify for that removes them from the BCT. The first one is the DRE exemption. This is when a license status is showing license MBA, license expired, license revoked, or license deceased. The second exemption is the TRM exemption. This is for members who paid their dues and actually has a financial record on M1, but is showing inactive because of the following. Number one, they did not complete COE course, they did not complete orientation, or taking a leave of absence. Okay, and the third exemption is the SSC exemption. This is for active realtor members in Arizona, Nevada, and Oregon. If this member's broker holds primary membership in California, the member is not required to join. So we would add them to the secondary state contiguous exemption. Okay, and the final exemption we're going to talk about is the COM exemption. This is for licensees that work in an office that is located outside their local AOR's jurisdiction and is substantially all commercial and is not the broker's main office that he or she works out of. Okay, and just to recap here, local associations must have a 97% or higher NMSP compliance score at each checkpoint. Again, those dates are March 31st, August 31st, and December 1st. Local associations that are not compliant by the checkpoint will be required to attend a mandatory hearing, which will include the AE and their board president. Another key takeaway is non-members in the delinquent section on the BCT will have a negative impact on your NMSP score. And once you identify those delinquent records, you must reach out to the broker and provide the broker with the following options. Number one, to pay the non-member fee. Number two, sign the LFRO certification form if the agent is going to operate as a referral agent only. Number three, confirm if the agent is going to join as a realtor member. Or number four, the broker has the option to drop the agent's license. Next, if you have non-members that are showing unpaid on the BCT, please make sure that you first check M1 to confirm there's a financial record for the non-member. If you have non-members that are showing unpaid on the BCT, please make sure that you first check M1 to confirm that there's a correct financial record for the non-member. If there is no financial record on M1, once you add the financial record, you will then see the update on the BCT within 24 to 48 hours. If you have confirmed that the financial record is on M1 and the BCT reflects unpaid still, then please send an email to accounting@CAR.org and include the NERDS ID number. And our finance team will research the records and will respond back to you directly. Lastly, please make sure that the member type is correct on the BCT. For example, if you have a LFRO that is showing up as a realtor, then you want to check the member subclass field on M1 to make sure it doesn't contain an R. Okay, and so that's all for this video, but please remember the membership department is here to assist you leading up to every compliance deadline. So if you have any questions or concerns about records that are having a negative impact on your compliance score, please do not hesitate to let us know.